This is Damon Stevens with FinWealth Builders, and today is July 11th, 2021. This is our Sunday morning prep so that we're ready to go on Monday. So it says Monday prep on here, but we're doing this on a Sunday. So hopefully you'll get enough out of this to get your plan started. And if you are chasing the stocks or trading the stocks that we are, hopefully we can all be profitable this weekend. If you have your own, that's great too. So let's get right into it. Again, we're not financial advisors. The things that we're sharing here are the things that we're trading in our group, and opportunities that we're seeing, and they continue to change during the week, and we'll continue to bring them to you daily, Monday through Thursday, and then on Sunday we try to do our prep for the week. So let's get right into it and get started. Going back to, let's just kind of review, real quick, just the the week. So ending Friday. Dow Jones, really kind of rocketed up. The stock market just kind of rallied throughout the day. So, and we talked about that on Thursday, to ask, I asked if you bought the dip, earlier in the week. So we had a nice little dip and then we had a rally. So if you did buy on the dip, congratulations, because it really paid off for you. If you didn't buy on the dip, don't worry about it. Just be careful not to chase the market or stocks that are heavily elevated. Without having good stops in place in case the market was to pull back again. So right now, the market's all bullish, and we're going to show you kind of what's going on and what we're planning for the week. As far as we're concerned, as long as the market shows that it's in a bullish trend, that's what we're going to follow until something turns around and shows otherwise. For the scanner on Friday, the big stock was SGOC. And if you look at SGOC, you can see that it went from basically $2.40 up to a high of 18.80. And the scanner didn't hit, you'd have been watching this. If you watch this stock, when it hit the scanner, it's already kind of elevated, around $8 when I saw it. So you had to get in quick. And that's one of the things. I have one screen where I got the scanner on there all day long so that I can catch it pre-market. And then when the market opens up, you'll just see, what hits and just be prepared to move over and hit that. So just be aware of that and make sure that you take advantage of that. So, but you can see here, you had a chance to get in at even $12. You still had a nice right up to 18.80. Typically you're not going to know where the high is. So just make sure you're taking profits along the way. You can see after hitting that 1880, we backed off and dropped down into the 50 moving average. Usually you'll hit the 20 or 50. And you can see that bounced off the 50, gave you another run up to $15 from $10, and then kind of fell back down. And, we talk about this on every video that there's look for retracement. And so you can see there the stock rallied all the way up to 1880 and rallied back down to almost around $10, just under $10. So you can see we had a 50% retracement. And this is the stocks that I like to see, because when you have a nice pullback, typically you're going to get a nice little rally, and we'll show you a couple of stocks where we've done that. But we're holding on to this one. This will be on for this week for sure. It's looking like it bounced well. So we've seen if we can trade this again throughout the week. SQBG. So this one has given us a couple trades in the last trade here. If you look on Fridays, it dipped back down to 1150, and then you had a nice little rocket up to 1870. So a nice little rocket ride. If you get even like $5-6 on a stock this price, you can really kill it. So hopefully you're able to get some of that. And you can see that it pulled back down here, retraced back down, really close to right on the 200. Now, one of the things that we cover on this channel is, when things get below 200 after a pullback, you just have to be cautious, because if it remains down there and it flattens out, I'll take it off my list. But we'll see if this can bounce back up there. But this might have been the only ride, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll keep it on the list this week. CRV, this one's given us multiple opportunities. A nice big old spike up to 38.87. It pulled back to 24. A run up back up to 38.74, and then a pull back again to 21, and then a run up to 42.50. So you can see you got higher highs here. So this is a great stock for giving you multiple runs. So you can see this really kind of pulled up there, gave you multiple entries in. It did pull back to the 100 at one point, but boy, what a rally up. So hopefully you're able to take advantage of this. This on the 9th is the day of the 9th. So I was just showing you, the multiple runs you had. So on the 9th, it gapped right back up to that high. Pull back down now. It's pull back down and it's back, 50% retracement down to $24. It did go below the 100, which is what concerning as well because we pulled back through these moving averages. I don't know, typically a stock that does this is not done. And so we're going to keep an eye on this one, see if we can rally this up again. But great opportunities on this stock. It really, really positive for a lot of people. Made a lot of money on this. So hopefully you're benefiting from it as well. But this was a good trade, multiple days. BTU, we talked about this one as well. Didn't know for sure what kind of ride it was going to give us, but it continued to bounce up here. We had a ride up to 870, pull back to 5, a ride back up to 9, a pull back to 7, a ride up to 11. So you can see these higher highs up here, higher lows. So that's great. It's above all the moving averages. This one we're going to look for a pull out, pull back and see if this can shoot out of this $11 resistance here up to a new high here of around 1450 is what we're looking for, possibly as a long term. Could be a short term dip. This could just be a run up, and we can have a little squeeze up here. Not quite sure. We could pull back here because it's not really pulled back a lot. But it's giving you 3 trades, so looking to see if this can give us a 4th at least. So this is definitely on the hot list this week as well. NEGG, we talked about this one. This one gave us a nice ride up to $71 and a pullback, then a ride up to 79. It pulled back and then it kind of consolidated. It did give you a little bit of a short ride from 44 to 59, which is great. I mean, typically if you can get $10 on this type of stock, it's great. And then you pulled back, and so riding right along this 50. See it try to pull back here, 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 and here. So as long as it holds above that 50, I think we had a good chance of running this up again, at least to $66. If not, we'd be pulling back to the 200, probably around $42 area, $40 area. So just be aware of that. I got this line that's been in here, so we'll see if it what it decides to do. I don't like that it kind of pulled back here. You got this little arch here. This means it could be pulling back down to support. Hopefully bounces off. If it doesn't, we'll be watching this one. But this is another trade that we have watching this week. See if we can give it another ride on it. The dollar, boy, it started to rally up here. It was making me a little nervous that we might have a little market pullback here, but it pulled back away from this resistance area that we had marked out at $92, and we pulled back through this little channel that we had created here. So we have another channel down here. So let's pull back. It's above the 200 still, so we'll see what the dollar decides to do. But if the dollar's weak, that helps the stock market. If it's strong, then you have all kinds of inflationary and other issues that could come in and creep in and bring the market down. The VIX, this is where we had that dip on Thursday that we talked about, and hopefully you bought on the dip, and then you can see that you had a little bit of pullback. So the VIX pulled back, which means the market rallied. So you just had this little bounce here to kind of get the market scared. You can see we talked about the VIX, how it has these little spikes, right? Another spike. This is our next spike here. So you can see that this time it ran over the 200, but here it found resistance at the 200, and again we found resistance at the 200. But we do have lower lows, so that typically means a downtrend, which is good. That means the market hopefully can continue to rally strong. As long as it stays below 16, you really got a good chance for rallying. The SPY, we talked about this, so new highs, and you can see this channel that we've had here for several weeks continues to trend up. We're sitting right in the middle of the range here, but above all the moving averages. That's very bullish. Triple Qs, same thing. Got this channel. Now the Qs drop below the channel, but it's back in that, and it's in the lower third. But it's still in a bullish trend. So just keep an eye on that. The semiconductor space, a little bit pulled back to the 50. So I was a little concerned about that. If we had support here before, hoping it held it here when it did, and it rallied back off that. So obviously the market wants to be bullish and continue to rally. The Dow Jones pulled back to the 100 here. It's rallied back up and dipped down to the 50, so it continues to check in, and it continues to rally up to close to new highs. So Dow Jones is looking really good as well. IWM, so this is the Russell 2000. So you can see that these little small caps have been continuing to give us a ride. I just noticed here that I have an old gap fill that I got to take off the chart here, but you can see here that we rallied up to from 230 up to 233, back to 221, rallied back up to 234, And now on this daily, we will pull back down to 218 to the support level, rallied back up. And so we got a lower low here and a lower low here, a lower high, I mean a lower high here, and we'll see what this ends up being before when it pivots. But we do have a higher low here. So this could be going into a wedge pattern. So just keep aware of that. I should probably draw this out just so we can kind of keep track of this and see where this goes here. But I'll fix that later so we can make sure we're tracking that. But just wanted to take a note of that. I'll fix it later. But you can see that we're rallying back up. We'll see if we get over these moving averages and continue to move up. But this could be a wedge forming, so we'll keep an eye on it on the trend here. The financials, we had a pullback. We had this channel drawn out here for a few weeks, and you can see that dropped through and created a new channel. So we drew in this new channel line. It came in, thought we had support here, it broke through it, which made me nervous. It was going to come down to the support line here at 35 at the 100 moving average, but bounced right off, moved back into that channel. So that's good. It's positive. Means we could continue to rally through this new channel and up to new highs here. But we got a ways to go. You can see the high was here at 38.60. And this is the top of the new channel, would be getting up to that 38.60, could break us up to, 39.25 before possibly a pullback or resistance would be hit. So hopefully we can continue rallying there. When the financials get weak, I get a little nervous that could be inflation or some other things could be popping up on the radar that could be affecting the market. But we're holding this trend line down here, got support here. So we'll see if we continue to move back into a bullish momentum. Gold, you can see that gold's rallying up here. Got several days here of it going positive. We're above the 5 and the 10 and the 20 now, and just barely above the 200, which is very positive. If we get above these other moving averages, then we start to move towards like 1830, and we get up to 1867 and closer back up to hopefully rallying back up to 1900. But this is good momentum on gold. So that's looking good finally. Silver kind of pulled up and then I found resistance and pulled back down to this support channel here. We'll see if we can rally off of here, but luckily it's staying above the 200. So keep an eye on this, but you can see we're kind of in this little channel here and we got to break out. So gold's more positive right now than silver. Bitcoin continues to consolidate in this channel. So again, like I talk about in the videos, got to get above here. Here's my marks up here for looking at buying back in more, or if we break down here to buy it more of a bargain. But until we make a clear direction, I'm just sitting on the sidelines with some cash here for Bitcoin. Ethereum, I really like Ethereum. I think it's a good long-term play, but I'm waiting to see again for it to either break down or break up. And you can see it's just kind of pretty well flat right now. A Dogecoin, so this one I wrote up, made a lot of money off the run up. It pulled back. I got most of my money off the sideline. I got a little bit in there, but most of it's off the sideline, waiting again to put cash in if this starts to rally back up again. And it's just in there with it's just following Bitcoin's pattern. Tesla, we talk about pretty much daily for the last few months. So you can see here this trend line we had in, we broke it, came up, started consolidating down this new channel that we had created, and then it broke back down here. And I said I wasn't going to buy unless it got down to 625 to my support lines or 624, and it did exactly that. Came down there, hit this on Thursday, and then just rallied right. I mean, that same day rallied right back up, and rallied up over the 20 moving average. You see Friday, not a lot of movement on Tesla, but gives you a ride every day. So that's the nice part about Tesla, and it's sitting right here between the 510 and the 20 moving average. So it's good. It's got to get it above the 666 level. So rally towards that 698 and 700. Again, I said I wouldn't get big investments until I get above 700 or down here if I hit support here at 625, which it did. So that's great that it's playing into our hands here, and the market's doing what we're expecting. Apple had a nice rally up here, had a little pullback here to the 5, which is great. That's fine. And then a rally up here. So we're hitting new highs. The goal up here is right 690, this 160.96, around 161. That would be the ideal goal. Don't know if we're going to make it, but that'd be the rally up. And as soon as Apple continues, as long as it continues to climb, probably going to drag the SPY up with it, which means we'll continue to see new highs. If it doesn't, I mean, then we could pull back here to the 20. Had this old support line here, which we'll have to move at some point, but it's 136.53, and it's based on this prior resistance area that we had. And then one we're watching for is PayPal. So PayPal, you see we've had a nice rally up here, pull back to the 10, and it continues to rally up into this new higher at 300. So 300 is a kind of a magic number. It's always interesting to see when stocks, how they hit even numbers. And typically, sometimes you'll see them pull back right before that even number. But PayPal is looking strong here. We'll keep an eye, see if it can go towards our next goal, which is 310.77. If not, if it fails, then we can come back here to the 20, which is at 286.43. So just be aware of that. So we have some small caps right on the front end of this video, and we're gonna have larger caps that we're gonna add to the end of this video. And so we'll just kind of see how we can play these out this week. I'm looking for Monday morning for the scanner to show us some new opportunities and see what we can do this week. And we should be getting into earnings season, so that's the other thing to keep an eye on. And I'll add the earnings calendar on here shortly. So watch out for earnings calendar too. I'll be curious to see how this now that we're at the half of the year, what companies are going to report, and I think they're going to be good reports. So if we have stocks that not rallied up, there's going to be opportunities for those long gaps. So there's going to be great opportunities to take advantage of that. For the stocks that are elevated, we'll see what the market does. Either they've added the premiums into that price already and they're not going to move much, or we might even have a little few pullbacks. So I'll be watching across the board to see where there's opportunities and report those as they come up. So everybody stay safe, have a great week, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will talk again on Monday evening.